What's his name? What's that nigga name? Rickett, big nigga in the back. And then surprisingly, Corcus hating ass is over there too. Now, when I say close friends, that unfortunately also includes this nigga Griffith, who was literally hiding behind the big nigga like a little dickhead. Nigga surrounded by like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is that 5 people I'm seeing? Nigga Guts so disrespectful. Hating. Now, we've all been haters in our lives. For example, LeBron Raymond James. People hate on LeBron because he's a good basketball player and many people say he's better than Jordan, which he is. But today we're not talking about basketball. We're going over one of the most dastardly, despicable, and downright hating ass nigga, Griffith from Berserk. So we're gonna be going over everything that happens in chapter 95 and before. And since this is an investigation, we're gonna be using exhibits to go over everything. So that leads us to our first exhibit. Exhibit A, the beginning. We start off with this one guy getting ran up on by a group of mercenaries called the Band of the Hawks. Now, since Guts is literally frying the entire band of mercenaries, they send out their strongest soldier. It just so happened to be that this strongest soldier was a woman named Casca. And Casca is a very important character to this story, so don't forget her name. Now, after Guts thrashes Casca in the 1v1, her leader has to step in, and it's none other than Griffith. And Griffith conveniently manages to one-shot Guts. But instead of killing him, Griffith takes him back to base and nurses him back to health. Now when Guts wakes up, the first thing he wants to do is go and get his get back on Griffith. Nigga Guts was not worried about getting one tap. He said, I'ma get my get back. Now when Guts finally gets Griffith alone, they actually talk for a little bit and they're actually kinda, figuring each other out. But Guts didn't forget the main reason he came with Griffith, and that was to get his get back. So these two rematch their fight, and some way somehow Griffith ends up winning again. Now since Guts lost the fight, that means that he has to join the Band of the Hawks, which brings us to our next exhibit. Exhibit B, leaving the Hawks. So at this point in the story, Guts has been with the Hawks for a couple of years, and this is when he's starting to realize, hold on, why am I fighting Griffith's battles? And personally, this is a very valid thing to think. Guts has killed thousands of people all for the sake of Griffith's dream. So Guts talks to his homeboy about it, and his homeboy's like, shit, if that's what you want to do, we all gonna miss you, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And to be honest, now that I think about it, Jude was the only person in this entire show that had a lick of common sense. I'm totally not just saying that because he's my favorite side character.
What?
Now when Guts is getting ready to leave, literally all of his close friends are there, like his what's his name? What's that nigga name? Rickett, big nigga in the back, and then surprisingly, Corcus hating ass is over there too. Now, when I say close friends, that unfortunately also includes this nigga Griffith, who was literally hiding behind the big nigga like a little dickhead. Now, Guts is standing firm on what he said. Guts still wants to leave, but Griffith says, if you want your freedom, bitch, you can fight me for it. Look at him, this nigga is fully content with dying over this shit, bro. This is when everybody should have started questioning his sanity, because there's no way you ready to die over this shit. Now, the last time these two fought, Griffith beat Guts for the second time. But it's been a couple of years and Griffith has kind of been lacking in the fighting department. Don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. But what I mean is that this isn't the same Guts from all them years ago. And then Guts proceeds to one-shot the shit out of Griffith. Just like all them years ago when Griffith one-shotted him, he got his get back for that fight. And the funny thing is that nobody expected Guts to win. Everybody expected Griffith to beat him just like he did all them years ago. Hell, Guts probably didn't even know he was gonna one-shot him. Look at these niggas, they all distraught as a bitch. Nobody ever seen Griffith lose. For the first time ever, Griffith took an L. And then Guts turns around, doesn't look back, and then he just walks off, officially leaving the Hawks. Which leads us to our next exhibit. Exhibit C, Return to the Hawks. So about a year has passed since Guts left the Hawks and they are in shambles when he comes back. They are getting ran up on by this group of mercenaries hired to kill them. Now while he's frying the entire group, this man looks over at Casca and hits her with the meanest light skin stare. Those niggas in 2017 didn't have shit on Guts. But like, bro, try and pay attention at least. Look at who he's surrounded by. This nigga's surrounded by like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is that 5 people I'm seeing? Nigga Guts so disrespectful. But when he finally talks to everybody, his homeboy Jude starts to tell him what exactly happened. Apparently when Guts left the Hogs, Griffith was crazy depressed, and then that's when he was arrested and now he's being tortured in the bottom of a dirty ass dungeon. So Guts tries to go fix things up with Casca before they go save Griffith, and that's when all of a sudden this motherfucker Casca just bring out her sword and start swinging at him. Like, bitch, I didn't have to come back, you don't gotta do all that. So Guts lets her stab him just to get the anger out of her system, and then out of nowhere, honestly this might be the most random thing in the show, Casca walks to the edge of the cliff and then proceeds to throw herself off of it.
Is this nigga serious?
Guts barely catches her with the arm she stabbed him in. Hey, but y'all already know what this mean. If y'all watched the anime or read the manga, y'all saw this coming too. Cue the music. And soon after this, they go and save Griffith, which leads us to our next exhibit. Exhibit D, the birth of the demon. Now Guts and Casca are talking about leaving the band of the Hogs and going on their own adventure, and Griffith just so happened to hear them talking about it and he didn't like that. So that's when Griffith decides to do some weirdo shit. While Casca is reapplying his bandages, he just gets on top of her. Now some people say he was trying to get her to have sex with him, and some people say he was just trying to get her to stay with him. But regardless, that's his homie's girl. Some people also think that he was trying to sexually assault her in this scene, but honestly I don't think he even could have if he wanted to. The tendons in his wrist and his ankles were cut, so he can't even use his hands and feet. So honestly, let's just chart it up to sexual harassment. Now since Casca rejected him, he took the carriage and he proceeded to throw himself off of a cliff, and then Griffith just starts laughing. This man has lost all sense of reasoning and logic, and once again this makes me question how nobody realized this man was a complete maniac. But when he activates the egg of evil, a bunch of demon monster things start showing up behind him, and that leads us to our next exhibit. Exhibit E, Hell. So thanks to Griffith, literally everybody in the band of the Hawks is just dying. People that are close to Guts, Corcus, Pippin, even my nigga Jude, who dies after getting stabbed 3 times trying to save Casca. But Guts not going out like no bitch. Guts is fighting for his motherfucking life. And mind you, Guts is literally going up against demons from hell. Now unfortunately, Casca trash ass is butt booty naked for some reason. Anyway, she got caught by this big ass demon. Now while Guts is trying to save her, he gets his arm stuck in a demon's teeth. This is not good because the man himself pulls up, Griffith, or more specifically, Femto, or that's what the demons are calling him because he's supposed to be like one of the 5 kings or something. I don't know, I didn't pay attention to the show. And then Griffith gets a hold of Casca, and y'all already know what he does. Griffith proceeds to rape his number 2. Now Guts is literally hacking away at his arm with a broken sword trying to get free, and when he finally does get free, we all think he's gonna beat the shit out of Griffith. I have never been more wrong in my entire 15 years of living. Now when Guts finally gets free, he just bum rushes Griffith, and then he gets pinned down to the ground by some demon, and he is forced to watch the entire time. My bad, forced to watch with that one eye. Now like I said earlier in the video, I finished watching the anime, but this show came out almost 30 years ago and there's no season 2. And no, I'm not watching this bum ass remake either. Now in search for answers, I swallowed my pride and did the one thing I promised to never do. For the first time in my life, I genuinely, intentionally read the manga. Guts wakes up a couple of days later and the first thing he does is try to go see Casca. But according to Rickett, Casca doesn't know him or Guts. She doesn't remember shit. This man Griffith mentally scarred Casca so bad that she lost her memory.
Weird, buddy. You're weird.
Now while Guts finally has Casca alone and he's trying to talk to her, all of a sudden she just started going crazy. So about 5 minutes ago, we went over when Guts and Casca finally got into a relationship. So it turns out that Casca just gave birth.
Who?
That is Guts' child, but since Casca did get raped by Griffith, some of Griffith's DNA mixed with the child, which means the child is a demon or something. It's really complicated, I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm done with this goddamn video. This shit is disgusting, bro. My stomach hurts so bad making this. Since you're watching this and if you somehow made it to the end, that means that YouTube didn't take this video down, and I thank y'all for that. I'm not even completely sure if I can upload this. Here is a list of all of Griffith's crimes if you even care, but I thank y'all for watching. Enjoy the rest of y'all week. I love you. Mwah.